Konnan, did you watch AEW?
Yes, I did.
Joe, do you have the numbers?
Yes, I do.
All right. What was the number? Konnan said this was a good show.
I thought it was.
I didn't think it was a good show.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll explain why.
Did you see it, Feeney?
Yeah, well, most of it.
What did you think?
I thought it was a good show, but it drew 852,000 down from 858 last week.
Do you know what I think? What I think is that obviously just a supposition. I think that coming off of Revolution, they didn't have a good show, and that hurt this show. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you why I didn't think it was a good show. Because the Mark podcasters and stuff, I think, were putting it over.
Right.
So I'm assuming that when they put the stuff over, the show
that's a theory of yours. That's a theory of yours that seems to have validation.
I bet this is not going to do a good number. So this is not a show that there were hits and misses on this show, and I think they did some things. They did things. They had concepts that I would have done differently that I think would have probably been more entertaining. So
all right, we'll bring it up when we get to it.
All right, so let's start with the opening segment. And this is a mistake they make every single week. They open the show and they just go straight to the ring announcer. They don't tell the audience anything that happened last week or what's coming. They just go straight right immediately to something with no 30-second to 1 minute kind of like primer on what you're going to see tonight. You know, and I think that's a mistake. You know, they just get. And I don't know why they do that, or they think that like every second counts, like on a 2-hour show. That like if they think that like the announcers are talking, that people are going to change the channel. So people are paying, people are watching. This is the time to fill the fans in with some information. They never do that. They just go right to the ring entrances and Justin Roberts or whatever. So Max comes out for his bar mitzvah and he had some hot chicks with him. And he wore a yarmulke too. That was pretty funny. He said Judaism is the only religion that matters because they are the chosen people. And he described his bar mitzvah as being Maximania themes. And he said he lost his V card and it was sick. He then said a rebar mitzvah was required because he beat everyone's boy Bryan Danielson and became a man a second time. In fact, he was Iron Man. Then Max then called for a celebration. A number of extras walked out to carry him around on a chair. Then Jack Perry just comes out for, you know, like they really didn't do a lot for the of the bar mitzvah stuff that they could have done, you know, like for entertainment. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But Jack Perry comes out. Why, I don't know. And he walks in the ring to confront MJF.
Would have cut a promo.
But before he could speak, Sammy Guevara walked out. And before he could speak, Darby Allin walked out. So they're all just sitting there in the corners, the original pillars of the AEW, right? And Max said they were ruining his rebar mitzvah and asked what the hell they wanted. And they all replied they wanted a title match. Then Jack spoke up and recalled their only match together in the first pandemic pay-per-view. Then he spent the rest of the pandemic on Dark. He said Max has never been a... Bro, it's kind of funny how Jack Perry buries all the shows here. He says Max has never been a Rampage, Dark, or Elevation. Everybody in the back has to sit there and watch him take up 20 minutes with their hokey... And when he said that was the only thing the fans popped on. Max said the company does revolve around him, and that's because he's a real star. Then Sammy Guevara spoke up, and they traded barbs back and forth. He says Max talked his way to the door and lied and cheated his way to the top. And he recalled working at Subway and Whataburger and grind his way through the independents to get where he is. And he claimed he was only supposed to be Jericho's bump guy and the jobber of the inner circle, but he overcame everything to be a champion 3 times over. He said he would overcome Max and become a world champion because he's better than him and he knows it. Max replied it was nice of him to take time out of his busy schedule of getting into brawls with everyone in the back. And Darby Allin piped up and said he dropped out of school because his art teacher told him he couldn't succeed being himself. It was a blessing in disguise, and because he found professional wrestling, decided he would succeed or fail being Darby Allin and not someone else. He's tired of everyone complaining about their position in AEW on Twitter. That was actually a funny line that he did. Including the world champion because of his bidding war of 2024. And he said he beat Max's head in with a skateboard if he didn't give him a title shot. Then Max took off his hat to get in Darby's face, and Darby pointed out that he looks like with his double black eyes. Then Max told them all to shut up and said they might all be pillars, but he was the only one who could hold the company up. And he insulted Darby and called him an incel, called Jack a jungle jobber, and told Sammy he should propose to another woman in 7 months. Guevara pointed out that his fiancée left him. And then Max told him he was sick of the jokes and told them they were going to leave. Told them all they were going to leave so he could eat his cake because he deserved it. He attempted to pie-face Jungle Boy and leave the ring, but a brawl broke out, and Guevara hit him from behind while he was on the apron. He took a spill through the ringside table that had the cake on it. And they missed, and this is a recurring theme on the show, they missed that shot. Did you notice that, Konnan?
Right, but they had no problem getting the shot of him trying to put cake on his face. So
Right.
and I'm like, why isn't
Bro,
if I'm seeing this, why isn't the camera seeing it, and why is the director of camera telling him to pull away? Just like when Moxley's blading, why isn't somebody telling, hey, camera 3, pull away? When I'm in AAA and they do stuff like this, I'm already on there telling the director of camera, do a different shot. Because sometimes we get cameramen that are new and they don't know like when a dive is coming, or they're spending too much time on something like that. And I have to tell, where's the quality control?
Bro, and they had it's a recurring theme. They have these spots and they shoot them like a second too late.
Right.
You know,
and you would think MJF would say, hey, in this spot, I'm going to go through the cake, be ready. That's one thing, and I hate to bring this up. That's one thing they really do good, like in WWE or like even in Impact, MLW. Like they'll go to the person's face. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, we've agented before.
Right.
I've been an agent. Okay, these spots are very specific. I am literally, as the agent of the match, in the truck, looking at the sequence that's occurring before this spot is supposed to take, and reminding, before the match I go to the production, tell them this. I'm in there reminding them this spot is coming up to the director. So, like, there's no way this is going to be missed if everybody is on point. Okay, so the only way you can miss it is if you're not paying attention.
For those of you that don't understand what he's saying is, so the agent goes, he helps put together the match, right?
The talent comes to me, they lay out the match, and they say, hey, we're going to do this spot over here. I get with like the camera guy, because the camera guys are usually out around the ring before the match, because they know people are going to be the set up spot. So I get with them and say, hey, we're probably going to do this. I write down on a piece of paper like a lot of the key points in the match. I go to the truck beforehand. I tell him, hey, we got this. He knows it. They take notes, and when it's taking place, we're guiding them through this.
Yeah, and at the second line of the defense, after you talk to the cameraman, after you gave him the notes, now Disco or the agent is sitting in the truck.
Right.
And he's saying, this is going to happen here. This is going to happen here. So there's no reason for this type of stuff to get away from them.
Right. It's just very bizarre. It happens constantly, you know? All right. But this segment was, they should have done some funnier stuff. Like, you could have had like a couple little Jewish kids in there, like dancing around doing the trap. I don't know, like, but it was weird. Is he comes up for the bar mitzvah and the rings, and then all of a sudden all the other guys just came out, you know, and it was just basically everybody sitting there insulting him and trading insults back and forth with him in the ring. And the visual picture of, like, if you're looking at this and you're thinking like, bro, these are the 3 challengers for the champions. Like, none of these guys weigh like 180 pounds. That's what I'm looking at when I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, I don't know. It's just this is a very, very bizarre booking on this show. What do you think about that?
Well, I thought this is why I say, that MJF is on a different level, because I see a lot of hate on him. Like, he's a midget. He's repetitive. Bro, he got on the mic. He was cooking like he always does. And no one is continuously giving entertaining promos like him. Sometimes they're serious. Sometimes they're funny, but usually entertaining,
Right.
And this was different and good because there were a lot of one-liners, a lot of ribbon on the square, as we say in the business, a lot of shooting, inside stuff that you're like, okay, a lot of people, obviously they over cater to their hardcores at the expense of a bigger audience. But with the crowd that was there, which are hardcore fans, they got pops for all their lines. You could tell that this guy, Darby Allin, was like, people are getting sick of you hogging up all this time. I'm sure that's being said backstage. You know, the other guy was saying, hey, you've never done an elevation. You've never done dark. You've been spoon fed all the way to the top. I'm sure
Meltzer had a take and said that was, I listened to Meltzer.
Yeah.
He said that's burying their show.
Right.
So it's not like promoting anything there.
Well, they're not burying the show. They're kind of burying him and the treatment he's been given.
Like, you think you're too good to appear on the other shows.
Right. And obviously his line should have been, I am too good. That's why I didn't have to do it.
But what about this line? Right. You've never been on Rampage.
Right.
That just buries Rampage.
No. I think it buries.
I think it does. I think Dave's right on that. I would agree with that.
How does it bury Rampage?
Because it makes it sound like the show's not that important. If the champion, they got your top act, he never goes on that show.
Right, but he never goes on any other show. He's been spoon-fed to the top because he's special.
And you're telling the fans those shows are irrelevant.
No, you're not. You're just what you're saying is
I think it is.
This guy's too good to be on these shows. Why should I be on these shows? I'm a star. You're not.
Yeah.
You had to be on these shows because
you're burying the shows.
That's what I would have said.
I think they're pointing him out as who thinks he's above stuff, and
right.
I don't said kind of that he's spoiled and spoon fed and stuff like that.
All right, so let me continue. So,
go ahead.
I've seen some. Why are they doing all this inside stuff, bro? Every promotion does it. WWE, TNA, every promotion does that inside stuff, and I think that people don't know what's going on when they hear people going, ooh, ah. They're like, well, maybe I need to inform myself. But at the end of the day, it's part of the business, and everybody, and it was like they were shooting on him. I think he said, say what you actually feel. Let me have it. I don't care. I'll come back with something because he wants it to feel genuine and different. And I think it did feel genuine and different because none of them did a wrestling promo,
Right.
And I like how he does stuff to get heat. Like I love when Jason Roberts goes, and in keeping in the tradition of his forefathers, but better. He bet up that line. That was great. I like when he went out there and he told the Canadian fans Shawn Michaels is better than Bret Hart to get heat, saying I'm the Iron Man. I'm not just a man playing on that Iron Man match that he just had. Bro, the people really popped when Allen came out. I thought they all did a pretty good job, and it all set up to him.
They all were polished on the mic. The mic work wasn't bad at all. I just thought some of the content was kind of bizarre, So
who do you think out of the three guys presented themselves the best? Out of Jungle Boy, Darby. That's what I thought too. Yeah.
All right. So next was Hangman Page, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson against the Blackpool Combat Club. The Blackpool Combat Club actually they're better heels.
Right,
because their work is they're pretty violent with their work is good for that. And especially
so is Moxley a heel now?
I guess they're heels.
Him.
Yeah, they're all heels.
I think he's a better heel, and he needed to change.
So the gimmick on this match was they were keeping Hangman Page out. Like this actually had decent psychology because they were keeping Hangman Page out of the match and just beating up the Dark Order guys. For a while. Like nobody thinks the Dark Order. Like any of those two guys were going to get a pin in this match, right? But it was very I don't know. It was just it was decent. But so after the match, they go over, of course. Moxley held on to the Wheeler Utah actually hit the guy with the ring bell.
Right.
Hit Adam Page
when he was going to do the buckshot lariat.
Do the buckshot lariat, okay? Right. And Moxley choked out Grayson. Then he held on to the choke, and then Alex Reynolds and John Silver ran down to the ring, and they cleared then the Blackpool Combat Club ran off. So it was I don't know. But what'd you think of this?
Bro, this was a way better match than I expected. This was really good. Bro, the people, like who was saying it? Maybe Jason when we had him on Jason Powell. They just loved their Canadian wrestlers because when Grayson, they loved that guy. You know what I'm saying? And again, bro, I'm not hating. I'm just stating Uno should wear his vest.
Right.
Like I said before, like if you're not Bam Bam Bigelow, like this large, really talented guy, or like Kevin Owens when he was overweight because he's getting back in shape, you can tell, you need to be a really good worker because you come off as amateurish, not being in shape. You're supposed to be an athlete. Like I'll give you an example. We have plus size guys, so we don't offend anybody here.
Right.
Nino Hamburguesa in Mexico, and all of his spots usually revolve around his weight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's his gimmick, Right. But I will say this about Uno, and I said it last week. His punches look really good in a land of forearms. Mm-hmm. Okay. He's a really solid worker. The problem is he's in a world of great workers with way more charisma. Reynolds and Silver, who I like a lot, are so cold and meaningless right now, and I like them, especially Silver. I didn't think their brawling looked good at all. I did like when Dark Order did that cannonball 450 splash combo and the Moxley for a near fall. That looked really good, and then they did another move which was like a reverse. I don't even know what you would call it. It was really good too. They did some really good moves. I think they did a good job, but nobody believes in them because they're kind of corny group.
Right.
Yeah.
So after the match, okay, no, that's okay. We already did. God dang it! The stupid guy just blocked his foul.
And it does look like I think their next one saw it somewhere, it's Blood and Guts or whatever. It just seems like they're going to have some sort of blow-off match or something with Reynolds and Silver and the Blackpool Club.
All right, so this is
they do that War Games, rip-off, basically, whatever. I forget what they call it. Well, Blood and Guts, yeah. So
next was this was good because Jade Cargill wrestled somebody that used to be on the disco list, Nicole Matthews, right?
Yeah, that is true.
That's the chick from right. She was the one that was throwing shade.
She got squashed.
I saw that, and I was
there
like,
is a K100 hex besides the rub.
Yeah. I was like, did they got me on this one because I was like, wow, did the original mystery opponent not make it, or did the plans fall through? Because what the hell is this? You know, it didn't click with me that she might come out after. But go ahead.
So next is so after the match, Renee Paquette enters the ring and asks Jade what kind of competition she was looking for. This is so lame because like she's it's like she's been doing the same stuff forever, and they're having what kind of competition are you looking for? She's like, she should say she should have said I want to be in an angle with somebody, So Jade backed up. She got in her face and reminded her she was from Konnan and stole her microphone. And the Jade asked Konnan if that's all they got. Then Taya Valkyrie just walked out, and they got in each other's faces, and Jade backed off. And Layla Gray attempted to attack Taya from behind, but she used Jade to put her down in the ring, the Jaded. And then she celebrated as Jade was pulled to the back by Mark Sterling. What'd you think of this?
How much heat, I'm just going off of what you said, I want to be in an angle. I need to be in an angle. How awesome disco would it have been if she would have said that I need to be in an angle. I've been here for a year and you just feed me these jobbers. I go until Tony Khan comes out here and gives me an explanation. I'm not leaving the ring. See, like Chris Daniels and Sanjay Dutt go out there. Maybe she punches one of them, and she's like, I want to talk to Tony. And Tony comes out, and just as he's going through the rope, she clotheslines him. Right. Bro, can you imagine the heat you would get?
I mean, yeah, this was more entertaining than this. This was just like, All right, so the back.
I think you guys are forgetting Jade did have an angle where Nyla Rose stole her belt. Don't you remember that?
Oh, yeah, that was incredible.
That was incredible.
Yeah, they had Kira Hogan trying to get it back for her.
Yeah.
That was so lame. Okay. Go.
So back in the back, Ricky Starks addressed Juice Robinson. That's what he's done in AEW. Then he mentioned the Bullet Club and said it was relevant back in 2015. And Ricky told Juice and Bullet Club to bring it at any time and any place.
So this is the problem I have with this. How many people, when they're saying Juice Robinson, are going, who? Why aren't they putting like a film clip of him in New Japan doing some cool you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Give us a background on this guy. Why should we be invested in him? Because he was in the Bullet Club?
Yeah. All right. So next is so they did see the QTV segment, and it resembled an episode of the TMZ TV show.
Right.
And they showed footage of someone breaking into Wardlow's car, which turned out to be Aaron Solo. So that whole thing of like the breaking into the car thing was maybe it was a shoot, but they made a joke out of it. Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I don't know, but that's what I think. I don't think it was an angle the whole time.
So I read somewhere that this actually came out on TMZ.
It did really?
That? Yeah. I'm like, really? That's news?
Yeah. Well, the TMZ got pretty into wrestling. Actually, Ryan Satin kind of directed them towards wrestling back in the day. So.
Yeah, so they probably have a hook up there, and whenever they want anything on TMZ, they call them.
Yeah. Right. So next was
so what did you think of this?
I didn't like it was shot very confusing. Well, I guess that's how they shoot TMZ, but I didn't think this was very entertaining.
Haven't you seen TMZ before?
Yeah, I've seen it, but it was like I didn't get the
yeah. That's how they shoot it. But what do you think, Joe?
I liked it, but I'm kind of biased. I like QT, so
Okay, so
I thought it was a good deal.
Let me just say this: this was a great idea. I popped that QT in the Harvey Levin role, but with the little cup, that he's always sipping from. Mm-hmm. Do you know what TMZ even stands for? This is some mindless trivia.
I don't remember. No.
30-mile zone. So that's like a historic studio zone. Where all is popping.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me just say this: the concept is great. I really liked it. I popped, but the jokes were not good. I couldn't understand too much the Australian girl. Hobbs looked out of place. I'm sure QT will read the criticisms, unless people thought this was good like Joe, and tweak accordingly. Mm-hmm. I thought this missed.
Yeah. Oh, my God. What a nightmare. I got Charleston plus 5 points, and they're down by 4, and they
they're
called a
playing
foul with no
tell them
time
who
left.
they're playing.
They're playing What'd you call it? San Diego State.
You know it.
And now San Diego State's going to get 2 free throws to beat the spread with 0.2 seconds left.
You know it. I'm so happy. San Diego, and you lose money. Couldn't get better.
Horrible. All right, so next is So at the end, Powerhouse Hobbs popped out of his chair and said, "Welcome to Will's world, bitch." And Hobbs will have an open. Great angle here. No. Here's a great sell. Hobbs will have an open challenge for the TNT title on Rampage. You gonna be sure to watch that?
Yeah, I can't wait to see who it might be. Probably, what's his Fuego del Sol? No, not him, because he broke his leg or something. But who knows,
so next is Jarrett. Okay, this is weird. So Jarrett comes out with Sanjay and Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal at his arm in a sling. Orange Cassidy comes out by himself. I'm like, what
why
would he
to
not?
The best friends, right?
Yeah, why would they not come out with him? You know,
right. They do for everything else.
Yeah.
I think it's a show. Look at all the odds against him, and he's going to beat them.
Yeah. So basically, a good Jeff Jarrett match. Jeff Jarrett never has a bad match. Everything makes sense and stuff. They did some multiple spots, trying to get the guitar in there, distracting the ref and stuff. But basically, Cassidy avoided a stroke attempt. Finally, Trent Beretta came down when Lethal had another guitar or grabbed the guitar, and they finally came out and Cassidy hits him with the Superman punch. So Cassidy wins 1-2-3. What'd you think of this?
Yeah, I read a lot of hate on Jeff online, like, almost like the younger generations, like, you had your time. What are you still doing here? Bro, you could learn a lot from him. Mm-hmm. This was way better than I expected, okay? Like, I'm not a fan, like I was telling Larry before, I'm not a fan of, like, what they did with Punk and Moxley and Orange Cassidy, where they put all these cold opponents in there with little to no buildup. There was a little bit of buildup for this, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But Jeff was great here, bro. He used all sorts of tricks, from the strut to putting the sharpshooter for heat, to maybe using the guitar, to having Sanjay out there, to having the world's tallest hat rack, Sanam Singh, who never does anything. He only in one match did I see him do something cool when, like, he stopped, I think it was Jeff and maybe Sanjay from being eliminated from a battle royal type deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But, bro, young cats, whether it's fans or wrestlers, look at how Jeff sold in this match. He sold everything.
Yeah.
He didn't sell everything like they do now. And it made for a better match. Selling is an art,
Yeah.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy super over, and I'm glad, because he's a super cool guy. I thought this was very good.
All right. Hang on a minute. I got to make a phone call real quick.
Yeah. Did you see this, Joe?
Yeah, I liked it a lot, but I like you said, or Disco said rather, Jarrett never has a bad match, so I was expecting.
Yeah, but he gets a lot of hate. Have you noticed that?
Oh, but he has for 20, 25 years almost, really.
Right.
He just rubs people wrong, I don't know if it's just been his heel character. People don't like what he represents because he ran TNA and was on top. I don't know, but I've always liked Jeff,
Yeah.
And you're right. It is cool to mix him in there with the younger guys and see what comes out.
Yeah. Well, he did some great selling for Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me again, what was the rating, Joe?
It was down 6,000 from last week. It was 852,000.
And last week it was 8,060, 600?
858, yeah.
They're not even in the nines.
No.
But still, it's a show that's making them money. If not, they wouldn't be doing another show.
Right.
Now they have another show that is it after AEW or Dynamite, or is it after Rampage?
I'm not sure. What is that, the women's
inside show? No, they have an inside show. Like,
yeah.
They go inside, like behind the scenes type deal, which I'm thinking that's for the really hardcore marks. I can't see that doing better than Rampage, but we'll see.
Yeah, AEW All Access. Oh, yeah, it'll be after Dynamite, starting in 2 weeks.
Plus, it's a good way for him to make money, because all the guys that are on it are probably contracted talent. And I don't know, but if you're thinking he's like, hey, you got to do this show. It's as part of your contract. You don't do house shows, So he may be able to benefit and take a lot of that money and invest it into the company or contracts or whatever he does.
Yeah, I don't know. I like TNA did a show like this called Reaction, where they kind of
yeah, I know which one.
I like that show, but that kind of would go with whoever was in the angles. Then they would talk to them. This actually says it'll feature Adam Cole, Britt Baker, Sammy, Tay, the Young Bucks, Saraya, Wardlow, Eddie Kingston, and Tony Khan. So maybe it's focused on that group of talent. I'm not sure, but that's what it says in the press release.
Could be, and since they're all under contract, he might, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe to get all that money and invest it.
And two of them are couples.
Yeah.
So that's interesting for TV too.
So see, we've got Billy, the outro, and an ad.
Yes. Can't hear you, Di. Can't hear you. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. All right. So the Outcasts, Saraya, Tony Storm, Ruby Soho, who are dressed like Raven now. By the way, I missed a spot here. The Acclaimed had a music video, and they declared they were going for the gold. So that's good character development right there. Like, very repetitive. There's no character development on this show. Like, everybody just talks about their wanting to win the title, and so, you know, it's kind of weird. Saraya told everyone to shut their mouths, and Ruby introduced a story and said, once upon a time, the grass was greener in AEW until a couple of that came along and on the grass. Saraya called herself a miracle and said they should. Oh, by the way, everybody and their mother did the middle finger on this show. Like, when they were coming out, they were flicking off the crowd, so, yeah, whatever. Saraya said they should worship the ground they walk on because there wouldn't be a division without them. Then Tony Storm then piped up to say that when she became the interim champion, nobody appreciated her at all. And that's when she realized that none of the fat neckbeards know what they want. She said they were the outcasts and they weren't going anywhere, and they had joy in taking out rookies one at a time. They brought up the names of Sky Blue, Jamie Hayter, Willow Nightingale, Britt Baker, and Jamie, and I guess somebody else. And both Hayter and Baker ran down, and they took all three women down, but they quickly turned the tables on them. And the heels did a beatdown, and then Storm landed the Storm Zero on Hayter. The Riho ran down with Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. For some reason, the heels cleared the ring. And a good way to get these guys over would have been for them to beat up those three, too. Because they did not look like three people that those heels would run away from. What did you think of that?
Well, I think they look really good together, Soho and Tony and Saraya.
Right.
There's some star power there. Good logical reason to be together instead of just throwing people together with no explanation, which is par for course sometimes, right? The spray cans are mega Mayor McCheese cheesy. They need to get rid of that. I like all three girls, as I said, but this group with all the TV and time invested to me is not clicking yet. Maybe it will. Tony's way better as a heel. Her mic work and Soraya's are not as good as Soho's, I feel. Bro, so here's the problem I had. You know when you said that when you were looking at Sammy and Darby and Jack Perry, you were like, these guys, look like little guys in the ring?
Right.
And my whole thing is, but they're all over with the crowds. I know that Riho is over with this crowd, but I mean, bro, she comes out with a pipe that weighs about as much as her. She looks like she's 12.
She does.
Sky looks like a teenager. Okay. At least Willow has some size, and Willow kind of has something the other two don't. And Rio's been there forever, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's probably a nice girl like most Japanese, but this ain't the Red Cross. I mean, like, she does nothing for me, but I guess I see the crowd does like her. So that's probably why she's there. And I think the other girl, Sky, should be on Dark and Elevation getting some reps.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So next was okay. So Matt Menard and Angelo Parker made a promo and want the claim to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. So then what do you think, Konnan? Is this getting you fired up for Friday? Ray Phoenix, who was with Alex Abrahante, has accepted Powerhouse Hobbs' open challenge.
Yes. Yeah. And Abrahante's cut such a great promo.
So the House of so now we got the main event. The crowd was into this because you had the Winnipeg guys in there and stuff. And Jericho and Kenny were both baby faces. Okay. So the way they had this match set up was like the House of Black was the heels. So they were doing a tease where Omega and Jericho got in the ring and they were going to get in, but then the House of Black broke it up to get heel.
And the people going crazy when they faced off. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but it's Winnipeg, so whatever. But I'm not, I'm just not interested in these 6-man matches.
Right.
It just seems like a way to just get everybody on TV. There's not a lot of build up. How can you do like really personal stuff if you have 9 different people in an angle and it's just I don't know. It's just the match was not bad. for what I would think a 6-man, because Jericho's in there. The House of Black isn't like these spot fest guys and stuff. I think like you would think, but the Jackson kid needs to stop doing the double Northern Lights suplex. Nobody believes he's strong enough to do that, but by any stretch of the imagination, it looks ridiculous. Who would you have thought was going to take the pin in this match?
The guy that took the pin.
Yeah, the guy took the pin. Everybody knew he was going to take the pin. So Garcia took the pin. After the match, Jake Hager ran down the ring, got beat down by the House of Black, and then so there was I guess during this match, it was
right. Bro, the Jack Hager thing is just like the Trent Beretta thing. Why did he come out till the end? Why didn't he come out with his posse? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. And so basically they showed in the back that the Blackpool Combat Club and the Dark Order were still fighting. So that spilled out to the ring. And then Hangman Page got up in the ring. The Blackpool Combat Club surrounded him. Then the Elite came in the ring and stood behind Page, which caused the Blackpool Combat Club to back away to close the show. This fan base thought that was really cool. I thought this was. This didn't interest me in anything going forward, other than I'm not interested in these 6-man matches taking up 25 minutes worth of the show with ring entrances, and there's really not a lot of personal. There's not a personal issue here, other than these guys get attacked. These guys attack each other. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you don't have to have a personal issue. They're going for the title, so everybody's going for a championship. So that's the reason. I like this match a lot. As you know, I love 6-man because that's what I grew up in Mexico. I loved that. Imagine Chris and Kenny come to their hometown, and Don Callis. They probably never thought they would, and they're received as heroes. They name a street after Jericho. You could tell Kenny was really motivated. He looked happy because I don't think he's been signed yet.
Right.
I'm wondering if he's thinking, is this my last time here? Is this my last time in Winnipeg with this company? Who knows what he's thinking? But I thought this was very good. The heels were really good heels. They had a great look, some good spots. People were really into this hot match. I thought it was a good way to end the show. And I have a feeling that Paige is somehow going to come back to the Elite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that the show next week, is going to do a good number based on what happened this show, or do you think it's just probably going to be the same or maybe even down?
Yeah, I think that, that it's going to be the same number down. I don't think it's going to be up.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that is?
Because I don't think that many people saw it. And
No. But bro, even the people that did see this, there's always a buzz and stuff. What was the buzz on this show?
I don't know. I haven't really looked. I thought it was a good.
But what did you mean? Like, what did you like that you thought they did good on this? That's like that as an episodic storyteller, as a booker, like for next week. Like, what are we interested in?
Well,
there's no soap, but there was zero soap opera storytelling here.
Maybe MJF against one of the 3 pillars.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I thought the Blackpool Combat Club really solidified themselves as. And it looks like they're going to continue this Dark Order feud, even though it wouldn't hurt them.
That's my point. This feud is like going. It's Adam Page and Moxley. This has been going on for months.
Yeah.
It's like they have these feuds that should have ended because you have a blow off, and they just keep going with it and going with it.
But in all fairness, when they were in the ring together, the people were popping. But then again, that was a hot crowd. That was hot for everything. Okay, yeah, they should have ended that. They should have ended that. I'm looking forward, and maybe because that's my girl, I'm looking forward to see what happens with Jade and Taya.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The crowd is going to be hot literally almost every single week on this show. You could probably count on 5 fingers the amount of times the crowd hasn't been hot. This is a very passionate fan base, but it's an echo chamber. And it's like, as long as they keep reacting like this, everything, it's like, I think that they get this complacency that everything's fine. Because listen to our crowd.
Let me tell you this. This is how I looked at the show, because I look at the totality, right?
Mm-hmm.
I liked everything on the show.
Right.
Except for the TMZ thing, okay? Right. Which I'm going to give him a chance to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't a big fan of the girls segment, but I did like the brawling at the end. It looked better than usual. Other than that, I thought everything else was good.
Oh, we missed something here because Jason Powell did not include this. Oh, it was Barnett. I guess Barnett went to the bathroom, okay?
I didn't see this.
No, the guy his name is Barnett that reviewed the show instead of Jason Powell, right? We missed something here.
What?
Bro, what did you think about that Juice Robinson promo? Did that guy look like an intimidating?
No.
Or like, I mean, come on.
Right.
I was like, this guy's
That's
like
hilarious. Bro, put
I mean-
that on, Joe. Let's let the people see what we're laughing at.
Yeah. No offense to Juice Robinson, but this is
Yeah.
just a very indie.
Right.
You're on mainstream television right now. You need to bring it more in your
And I've
promos and have
seen
more
him,
substance.
and I've seen him do some good promos in New Japan. But go
I
ahead.
think he has, right?
Yeah.
This was not what, because I've seen, I don't know. Do you know? Because when he did that, I've seen him do promos in Japan, and he comes across like he's real.
Right.
Right? This looked like a guy acting like a wrestler cutting a promo. The substance. Try and find it, Joe.
Everybody wants to
Yeah.
know
Yes.
Again, okay.
why I laid out Ricky Starks with the left hand and then planted his head into the mat. It isn't why, Juice, why? How could you do that to the beloved Ricky Starks? It should be, what are you going to do about Juice Robinson walking down to the ring, knocking the taste out of your mouth, and then planting your surgically repaired neck? Oh, yeah, I remember, into the mat. I know what you're going to do about it. You ain't going to do jack diddly squat.
Still to come tonight, our main event.
Did that get you interested in the Ricky Starks Juice Robinson feud?
Yes, Ben. Though that was a good video of him planting him on his neck over and over.
Yeah.
But that looked like him and Mitch Valentine could tag team on a promo. That very Mitch Valentine-ish.
Right.
Or maybe even Mitch Manslaughter, depending on
Or
how
Mitch
upset.
Manslaughter,
Yeah,
right.
Oh, my
yeah.
God. Mitch Manslaughter.
Juice manslaughter. All right.